All right, so we're getting ready to this aircraft maintenance technician interview.
Yeah.
And serious business, right? I mean, we're not talking about just any mechanic here.
No, not at all.
These are the guardians of the skies, making sure every single nut and bolt, every wire is exactly where it needs to be.
Lives depend on it.
Absolutely.
It's all about that attention to detail.
Right. And luckily, we have all these great resources from RoleCatcher, career guides, interview guides, even stuff about how AI is changing the hiring landscape.
It's amazing.
So we're going to dive into all that and make sure that you can really nail this interview.
Absolutely.
So first things first, RoleCatcher has this career guide that really emphasizes something that might seem obvious.
Oh.
But it's really important to understand what an aircraft maintenance technician actually does.
Right.
Because you're not just fixing things.
You got it.
Right. You have to really think about preventative maintenance inspections.
Yeah.
Making sure you're following all the FAA regulations. All those certifications, like the airframe and power plant certifications.
Those are crucial.
Those are like your golden ticket in this field.
Exactly.
If you're listening and you don't know what those are, it means you have the knowledge and the skills to work on like everything.
Yeah.
From the structure of the aircraft to its engines.
Absolutely.
So really important. And you have to be prepared to answer a question in the interview. Like, can you tell us about your experience with aircraft maintenance?
Right.
So don't just like list off what's on your resume.
Yeah, don't just read off a list.
Tell a story.
Yes, exactly.
So, did you have like a really challenging repair that required you to like draw on specific knowledge?
Right.
From your power plant training, for example? That's the kind of thing that's going to make you stand out.
Yeah. And you know what's cool about RoleCatcher?
Right.
You can actually use their AI to tailor your answers.
Whoa.
So you take the job description, put it into the system, and it'll analyze it for like keywords and requirements. So it can really help you emphasize the most relevant parts of your experience.
That's incredible.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you've got this great story. You talked about your certifications.
Yeah.
What's next? What are they going to ask?
Okay, so a classic question is going to be like, how do you ensure that maintenance tasks are completed safely and efficiently?
Right, because it's not enough to just be good at what you do.
Right.
You have to be safe.
Safety first.
Absolutely. So how do you answer that?
So you really want to emphasize those safety protocols,
Okay.
Give some examples, like what comes to mind?
Well, I would think like you'd want to talk about, risk assessment before every task.
Yeah.
Triple checking your work, especially when it comes to, the really important parts.
Absolutely, especially the critical components.
Yeah. And documenting every single step of the process.
Yes, documentation is key.
Right. Because if you miss one step, it could cause a delay. And obviously in the air, that could have really serious consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, airlines, they don't make money if the plane is on the ground.
Exactly. Efficiency is important too.
So how do you talk about that?
Well, you could talk about how you prioritize tasks.
Okay.
Maybe you have like a system you use, or how you break down complex jobs into smaller steps to streamline things.
Okay.
And actually, RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze what you write and give you suggestions for how to word things better.
Oh.
Like highlighting your organization skills.
So helpful.
Well, I know, right?
Okay, so now for a question that can really trip people up. Have you ever encountered a difficult problem during an aircraft maintenance task?
Oh, yeah.
How did you resolve it?
Everyone makes mistakes.
Right, and nobody's perfect.
Right.
So what's the best way to answer this question?
Just be honest. Choose a real example where you faced a challenge, but really focus on what you learned from it.
Okay.
Like maybe you misdiagnosed a problem at first, but then you use your knowledge of the systems to find the real issue.
So it's not about hiding your mistakes.
No.
It's about showing that you can learn and grow.
Exactly.
And I'm sure RoleCatcher's AI can help you with this too.
Of course it can help you frame it in a way that really shows off your problem-solving skills.
Amazing.
It's incredible.
Okay, ready for another tough one?
Hit me.
Okay, so this one really gets at like decision-making under pressure.
Okay.
Can you tell us about a time when you had to make a difficult decision during an aircraft maintenance task?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So this is where you show, your judgment and, that safety is the top priority.
For sure.
So maybe give an example, like you discovered a problem during a routine check, even though it meant delaying a flight.
Right. Yeah.
So explain how you weighed the risks, how you consulted the manuals, and how you made the tough but safe call.
Exactly.
It's about showing you can think on your feet and that safety is always number one. And I bet RoleCatcher can help here too, right?
Absolutely. It can analyze your response, Look for those keywords that show you're thinking critically.
Right.
It might even suggest you add some details about specific safety protocols,
Oh, wow.
which would make your answer even stronger.
So helpful.
It's amazing.
This is great. We've covered so much already, but there's a lot more to talk about.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started.
So make sure to join us for part 2, where we'll keep going with these interview questions and give you even more tips to help you ace that aircraft maintenance technician interview.
Definitely come back for more.
All right. See you then.
See you then. Welcome back.
Okay, so we're back talking about acing that aircraft maintenance technician interview.
And we're not done with those tough questions from RoleCatcher.
Not even close, but
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting into a good groove.
Oh yeah, we are.
So speaking of tough questions, this one really stood out to me.
Okay, let's hear it.
How do you ensure that maintenance tasks are completed within budget?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because it's not just about safety anymore.
Right, it's about being cost effective too.
Exactly. Airlines operate on really tight margins.
They do.
So how do you show them that you can balance safety with, keeping costs down?
Well, you could talk about your experience with sourcing parts, like maybe comparing prices from different suppliers.
Oh, yeah.
Making sure you're getting the best deal but not compromising on quality.
Right.
You could also talk about negotiating with vendors to
Right.
try and get the best possible terms.
So it's kind of like you have to be a business person too?
A little bit, yeah. You need to have some business savvy.
And what about being proactive?
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
Like regular inspections?
Preventative maintenance?
Yeah.
Those might seem expensive up front,
Right.
but they can actually save you money in the long run.
An ounce of prevention.
Exactly.
And it's cool.
What?
RoleCatcher's AI can actually look at your experience and tell you if you're lacking in that area
Really?
based on the job description.
Wow.
So it can help you identify maybe some skills or experiences you could highlight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to give you an edge.
I love that.
Okay, let's get back to some of the technical stuff.
All right, let's do it.
This question is a good one. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a complex problem during an aircraft maintenance task?
Oh, that's a classic.
Right, so imagine you're on the tarmac.
Yep.
The pressure's on, everyone's waiting.
The clock is ticking.
How do you approach a situation like that?
First, you got to gather information. What are the symptoms? When does the issue happen?
Right.
Has any recent maintenance been done that could be related?
Okay.
And then, of course, you go to your trusty maintenance manuals.
Those are like the Bible.
They have everything you need.
All those schematics and diagrams.
Yeah.
Troubleshooting procedures.
It's all in there.
But sometimes...
Yeah, sometimes you have to think outside the box.
What do you mean?
Well, what if you encounter a problem that's never been seen before?
Oh, wow.
That's when your experience and your knowledge really come into play.
So you're like a detective.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to use your intuition.
Your problem-solving skills.
And of course, RoleCatcher can help you here too.
Oh, I'm sure it can.
To make sure you're really showcasing those analytical skills.
Yep.
All right, so we've talked about troubleshooting. Let's talk about documentation.
Okay.
Because a good interviewer might ask you something like, how do you ensure that all maintenance tasks are properly recorded and reported?
That's a big one.
Yeah, because it's so important not just for following regulations, but also for, the history of the aircraft.
It's the aircraft's logbook.
Exactly. So what are some key things to keep in mind?
You gotta be meticulous. Describe the problem clearly. Explain every step you took, the parts you used,
Okay.
any tests you performed, and the final solution.
So someone else could come in and see exactly what you did.
Exactly. And it helps track the aircraft's history.
And ensures its safety.
Exactly.
It's like you're contributing to the long-term well-being of that aircraft.
That's right.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher can look at your experience here too and see if there are any gaps.
Oh, yeah. Based on the job you're applying for.
Exactly.
That's so helpful.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about teamwork.
Okay, teamwork makes the dream work.
Right. Because you're not working in isolation.
Never.
So an interviewer might ask you, can you tell us about a time when you had to lead a team during an aircraft maintenance task?
Okay.
And even if you haven't officially been a leader, you can still answer this question.
Right.
So think of a time when you maybe took initiative,
Yeah.
coordinated a group, or delegated tasks.
To get a project done.
Exactly. You wanted to show that you can work with others.
Yeah.
Communicate clearly.
Motivate people.
Exactly.
Be a team player.
And RoleCatcher, can you guess?
Help you analyze your answer.
You got it.
I knew it.
To make sure you're highlighting those leadership skills.
Amazing.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this part.
We have budgeting, troubleshooting,
Documentation, leadership,
teamwork.
so much good stuff. But we still have more to go.
I know, right?
So make sure you come back for part 3, where we'll dive into even more questions and give you even more tips to help you ace that aircraft maintenance technician interview.
You don't want to miss it.
Okay, so we are back for the final part of our deep dive, getting you ready for that aircraft maintenance technician interview.
And we've saved some of the most interesting questions for last.
Oh yeah, these are the ones that can really make you shine.
They really make you think.
Exactly. So let's dive right in.
Okay, let's hear it.
What are some of the biggest challenges facing the aviation industry today, and how do you see the role of an aircraft maintenance technician evolving to meet those challenges?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Right. It goes way beyond just like fixing planes.
Yeah, you have to show them that you understand the big picture.
And that you're thinking about the future.
Absolutely. Like, you're not just a mechanic, you're someone who's aware of the trends and how things might change.
Exactly. So what are some of those big challenges that come to mind?
Well, for one, the aircraft systems are getting more and more complex. So technicians need to be really tech savvy.
Like you almost have to be part mechanic, part computer programmer.
Pretty much, yeah. You need to know about digital tools, diagnostic software data analysis.
It's a whole new world.
It is. And then there's the fact that air travel is just getting more and more popular.
Right. More planes in the sky.
More planes means more technicians.
To keep them all running smoothly.
And safely.
And of course, we can't forget about sustainability.
Yeah, that's a big one.
The industry is under a lot of pressure to reduce its environmental impact.
For sure.
So technicians are going to be really important in implementing and maintaining those fuel-efficient technologies.
Absolutely. And exploring alternative fuels.
Right. So it's not just about keeping planes flying.
It's about doing it in a way that's good for the planet.
And this is where I think RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, it can analyze all those industry trends
Mm-hmm.
and look at specific job requirements. So it can help you tailor your answer to focus on the skills and knowledge that are going to be most important in the future.
So even if the job description doesn't say anything about sustainability,
You could still bring it up.
to show that you're thinking ahead.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Okay, let's move on to a question that's a little more personal.
Okay.
Why are you interested in working for our company specifically?
The classic YS question.
Right, and this is where you really need to show them you've done your homework.
Yep. You're not just applying to any job.
You want to work for them.
Exactly. So generic answers are not going to cut it here.
No, you need to do your research.
Research the company's history, their culture, their values, what they're known for,
Yeah, find something that really connects with you.
and make it personal.
So if they're known for their commitment to safety,
Or their innovative maintenance practices.
maybe they have state-of-the-art facilities.
Those are all good things to mention.
And you can even talk about, if you admire their aircraft fleet.
Or their training programs.
Maybe they do a lot of community involvement.
Yeah, anything that shows you've taken the time to really get to know them.
And guess what? RoleCatcher can help here too.
No way, really?
Yeah, its AI can analyze company websites and reviews
Wow,
to help you identify those key themes and values.
that's so cool.
Okay, so we're nearing the end of the interview, and they ask you, do you have any questions for us?
This is your chance to turn the tables.
Yeah, you get to interview them.
Show them you're curious and engaged.
But don't just ask questions for the sake of asking.
No, they need to be thoughtful questions.
That show you're really interested.
In the role that the whole industry.
So give me some examples.
Well, you could ask about the company's future plans
Okay.
or their growth opportunities.
What about the day-to-day responsibilities of the job?
That's a good one. You could also ask about the team dynamics.
Okay, so what should you avoid asking?
Anything you could easily find on Google. Or
Right.
questions that are only about salary and benefits.
You want to show you're passionate about more than just the paycheck.
Exactly. You're passionate about aviation.
You want to contribute to the company.
You want to grow professionally.
And of course, RoleCatcher can help you here too.
Of course it can.
Brainstorming those insightful questions.
I'm telling you, it's a game changer.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive on preparing for your aircraft maintenance technician interview.
We covered a lot of ground.
Hopefully you feel more confident and prepared.
Remember, confidence is key. Believe in yourself, showcase your passion, and use all these tips to really stand out.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way.
With its amazing AI and personalized feedback,
Good luck out there.
you got this.